I really want people to know that accounting was never a subject that came easy for me. It was always very, very difficult. I was never that person that could get A's in my accounting classes very easily. I always had to work for it. I'll tell you guys kind of my entire story through getting my accounting degrees and with the CPA exam. I actually made a video about this when I first started my YouTube channel. Literally, it was the first time I ever sat down to film a video. I filmed 5 videos in a row, and this was actually one of them. But I watched that video a couple months ago, and I didn't really like the way that I told my story, so I put that video on private, and I'm going to remake the video. So to get started, we have to go way back in time to when I was in kindergarten, and I was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said I wanted to be an actress because I don't really know why. I think it's because I really enjoy being in front of a camera, which makes sense as I'm making these YouTube videos now. But I just really liked being on screen. I was very outgoing as a kid, and I thought that being an actress was just my dream job. I would say by the time high school came around, I had to become a little bit more realistic, and I had to understand that the acting career just wasn't really feasible for me. And so I had to kind of think about what I wanted to do after high school. And we actually had a junior planning session where we were asked what career we wanted to go down, what we wanted to do after high school. And at the time, I really wanted to be a teacher. I'm not exactly sure why. I just thought it was so fascinating to teach kids about something that you're really passionate and good at. But to be honest, the thought of having to teach middle school, elementary school, high school kids just doesn't sound appealing to me anymore. And the thought of going down the accounting CPA path wasn't something that I really considered until my senior year of high school, and I was applying to colleges. And when you apply to colleges, you have to pick a major and you have to pick what you want to study. So I talked to my parents a lot about kind of what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to do for a living. And my parents told me a lot of things that I could do, and both of them are in business. And so I found business to be very, very fascinating. I feel like I'm just really interested in kind of knowing how a business works, growing a business. And so now that I knew kind of what general field I wanted to go down, I had to pick a specific major. And my parents talked to me a lot about accounting, and they told me that it was keeping track of records of a company. And it involves math, but it doesn't involve very hard math because
your girl is not good at very, very hard math.
And I thought that accounting was perfect because I really, really liked math when I was in school. Math was always my favorite subject ever since I was, I think, in elementary school. I think math has always been my favorite subject. And accounting didn't involve hard math. And I was like, oh, accounting is perfect because it's kind of a hybrid between business and math. And I thought that that was kind of like the best of both worlds. And so I applied to all of my schools as an accounting major, and that was kind of it. I didn't really think too much about it. I didn't really think about the career that accounting would involve. I didn't really know about what accounting really involved, and I absolutely did not grow up knowing that I was going to be an accountant CPA since I was little. I don't think anybody who is an accountant or a CPA knows that they want to be an accountant or CPA as a kid. And so after that happened, I started college, and I did not take any accounting or business classes my freshman year, just the way that my university is set up. I took a lot of general education classes. I actually took my first accounting class, which was the Intro to Financial Accounting. I think that's the first accounting class that anyone ever takes. in my first semester of my sophomore year, and I had heard that that class had a reputation for being very, very difficult, and so I kind of went in kind of nervous. But to my surprise, I did not find it as difficult as other people made it out to be, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the right path for me. Now, I just want to clarify that I did not find that class to be easy. I just didn't find it as hard as how some people who had taken it before me told me it was going to be. Overall, I didn't hate it, which was the good thing. Looking back now, after having gone through getting my bachelor's in accounting, getting my master's in accounting, and then passing the CPA exams, I could probably do that intro to financial accounting stuff in my sleep. But at the time, I did have to work pretty hard for the class because it was completely new. I had never taken an accounting class before. I did not take accounting when I was in high school. My school actually did offer accounting classes, but I didn't know that I wanted to be an accounting major. So I took my second accounting class, which was the Intro to Managerial Accounting, and I liked the information in managerial accounting, but for some reason the class was a lot more difficult for me than the financial accounting class. I think by the time I took intermediate 1, I took that my second semester junior year because I studied abroad my first semester junior year, so I couldn't take any accounting classes then. That class was very, very difficult for me, and people say that that's kind of like the weed out class where a lot of people who don't do well in that class, they kind of weed you out and you can't be an accounting major anymore. I think after that class, or no, I think when I was still taking that class, I kind of thought about maybe not wanting to pursue a degree in accounting because, like I said, the class was very, very difficult for me. I struggle with it way more than intro to financial or intro to managerial. And I thought, maybe I can switch to another business major. Maybe I can be a marketing major. Maybe I can be a management major. Maybe I can be a finance major. And I won't have to go through this really hard nitty-gritty accounting stuff anymore. And those are just thoughts in my mind. I don't think I was ever actually going to change my major to something else in the business school, but I thought about it. And so I finish intermediate 1 and then I take intermediate 2. And before I even take intermediate 2, I just think, this is just going to be terrible. This is just going to be exactly like intermediate 1. I'm not going to enjoy it. And I'm probably going to have thoughts about wanting to change my major again. But to my surprise, intermediate 2 was much easier than intermediate 1. I think a big reason was because there was less information in intermediate 2 than there was in intermediate 1. But while I was taking intermediate 2, I kind of had that confidence again that I could pursue a degree and a major in accounting. And I finished that class. I did really well. And then I moved on to my last semester of senior year. And the accounting classes I took that semester were advanced accounting and auditing. So those classes were okay too. Advanced accounting was a little bit harder than intermediate 2 for me, but not as hard as intermediate 1. So it was kind of in the middle of those 2 classes. Also, by the way, I did take cost accounting my first semester senior year, and then I took federal income taxes my second semester junior year, the same semester that I took intermediate 1. And then I took another intro to profession. It was a 1 credit class that all accounting majors had to take. It was really easy, but I took that my first semester senior year. So I finished off college, I get my degree, and then literally the day after graduation, I start my master's program. I had my final for my last class the day before graduation, and then I had graduation, and then the next day I had my master's program. So I did not have any break in between. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to finish grad school as soon as possible. I could have taken that summer semester off and did an internship, which a lot of people did. But me personally, I wanted to get my master's out of the way. I wanted to get the CPA exams out of the way, and then I could just start working and move on with my life. During my entire bachelor's degree program, my school really pushed the CPA. They talked about how you need 150 credits and you need work experience, and then you have to pass the exams, and they're supposed to be really hard, and they were really hard. But I think during my entire time while I was getting my bachelor's degree, I didn't really think about getting my CPA. For some reason, I felt like that was just going to be something that was going to take me a couple of years. I did not think that I was going to be able to do it within a few years of graduating with my bachelor's, which I did end up doing because, like I said, accounting was a struggle for me. It was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I did work really, really hard, but I wasn't getting the grades that I felt like I should have gotten for the amount of effort and time that I had put into studying. So in my mind, I thought I just need to get this bachelor's degree and then we'll go from there. We'll see if the CPA comes along or not. So I graduate and then I start my master's program, and I started studying for the CPA exams 2 months after I started my master's program. I was really hesitant to start studying for the CPA exams because I knew it was going to be a grueling process, and I did not think that I was going to be able to pass the exams very smoothly, which I did not. I ended up taking 9 exams. Audit took 5 tries, FAR took 2 tries, and then Reg and BEC each took 1 try. So I did pass 2 of the 4 exams on my first try, but audit was a struggle. I don't know why, and I didn't think that was going to be the hardest section of the CPA exams for me, but that's what it goes with these standardized exams, is that you don't know how your journey is going to go. So I was actually studying for the CPA exams while I was getting my master's degree, and my master's degree I didn't really feel like helped prepare me for the CPA exams. I felt like I was mostly doing it just to get the 150 credits, probably like a lot of other people that were in my master's program with me, but it was a lot easier than my bachelor's degree. So I was in my master's program for 3 semesters, and I took 3 classes for each of those semesters. Except for the first semester, I took 4 classes, but one of the classes was only 3 weeks long, but our semesters were 9 weeks long, so I didn't have 4 classes for the entire semester. I only had 4 classes for the first 3 weeks. And then I was only left for 3 classes for each of the other semesters. I hope that's making sense. But I finished it within 11 months of starting. I got my master's exactly a year after I got my bachelor's. I actually made a video about this in 2021 where I go in depth about what classes I took in my master's. So if you want to see that, I will leave a card on the screen, and then I will also put the link in the description below. My last semester of my master's program, the last assignment I was about to submit was a paper for a tax class that I was taking, and I remember I had finished writing the paper and I was like, well, once I submit this, that means I am done with school forever. So I clicked the submit button and I was like, well, that's it. That's my entire journey through having to go to school. I still had 3 CPA exams left to take. So I had already passed FAR, but I still had audit, Reg, and BEC to take. I ended up passing Reg shortly after I finished my master's degree, and then I passed BEC I think 2 months after that, and then I passed Reg I think 4 months after that. But my entire CPA journey took 18 months to pass all 4 sections. I found out that I passed my last section of the CPA exams on January 11th of 2021, and it happened to be the audit exam. I did do a reaction video, so I will also put a card on the screen and then leave it in the description below. I started working at a public accounting firm after I had passed 3 of the exams, and I ended up passing audit I think 2 months after I started working. And then I did get my CPA license in March of 2022 after I had a year of work experience. So yeah, that is my entire journey through getting my accounting degrees, kind of why I picked accounting as my major, and then passing the CPA exams and getting my CPA license. It was a very, very strenuous and difficult journey. I really want people to know that accounting was never a subject that came easy for me. It was always very, very difficult. I was never that person that could get A's in my accounting classes very easily. I always had to work for it. I think after going through the process now, I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do it, because there were a lot of times where I did not think that I could. And maybe if I did decide to change my major when I was in undergrad, I probably could have had an easier time getting through my bachelor's degree, and I wouldn't have to go through the CPA exams or my master's. But I don't know if that would have been the right path path for me. I've said this in videos before, but I'll say it again. I have no intentions on going back to school. I have no intentions on getting any more certifications. So if you're an accounting student, or maybe you're going through the CPA exams and you are struggling, I want you to know that I have been there, and probably a lot of people
have been there too.
But you just gotta keep pushing, because like they say, nothing worth having comes easy, because if it were easy, then everyone would do it. It wouldn't help you stand out as much. And if you're ever having a really hard day, just take a break from it. Do something fun, go out, get something good to eat, or go for a walk, and then come back with a clear mind. And I found that when I kind of stepped back from whatever was stressing me out, it made it a lot easier because I had that break. So you got to give yourself little breaks, give yourself little rewards, celebrate the little moments. And then once you have that big moment, you're going to look back and you're going to be really, really proud of yourself. I am wishing you all the best of luck in whatever part of the accounting CPA journey that you're in. If you have any questions or anything, definitely leave that in the comments down below. I do read all my comments and I respond to everyone. But if you found this video helpful, definitely subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm trying to reach some subscriber goals this year, and it would mean the world to me if you decided to hit that subscribe button. But other than that, hope you're having a great day or night whenever you're watching, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.